It was 11:47 p.m. when Sarah Miller got the notification. Package delivered. She stared at her phone, frowning. She hadn't ordered anything. Not groceries, not medicine, not even the vitamins she kept forgetting to buy. Nothing. She scrolled up, checking her order history, just to be sure. Empty. No pending orders. No recent purchases. No name on the notification. No return address. Just a small brown box sitting on her porch, wrapped in plain tape, glowing faintly under the motion light that flickered every few seconds, like it was struggling to stay alive. She should have called someone. She should have waited for morning. Opened it in daylight, with people around. She didn't. Sarah lived alone in a quiet cul-de-sac outside Denver, Colorado. Divorced, 34. A nurse who worked the night shift at St. Mary's Hospital. Her house was the last one on the street, tucked behind a row of tall pine trees that blocked most of the streetlight. Tonight was her one night off in 11 days, and she had planned to spend it doing absolutely nothing. No emergencies, no phone calls, just silence. That silence was about to end. She opened the door slowly, the hinges creaking louder than she remembered. The porch light flickered again, once, twice, and for a second. The whole yard dropped into darkness before the bulb caught itself and came back. The box was small, shoebox-sized, lighter than it looked. No shipping label, no barcode, nothing to say where it came from, just her name, handwritten in thick black marker, pressed hard enough into the cardboard that she could feel the letters. With her thumb. Karma Sarah, not Sarah Miller, not her address, just her first name, written the way someone writes when they know you personally, the way a friend would write it, or someone who had been watching long enough to know exactly how to get her attention. She carried it inside, locked the door behind her out of habit, and set it down under the kitchen light. For a moment she just stood there, staring at it, feeling that quiet, prickling sense that something was wrong before her mind could even explain why. She cut the tape anyway. Inside was a single photograph, face down. She flipped it over. It was a picture of her, from that exact night, standing in her doorway, porch light flickering behind her, holding this very box in her hands. Her stomach dropped. Someone had taken this picture only seconds ago, which meant someone had been close enough to see her face clearly, close enough to know the second she opened her front door. Sarah's hands started shaking. She ran to the window and yanked the curtain back, scanning the street left to right. Empty. No cars, no movement, just the wind pushing through the pine trees, making a sound almost like breathing. She told herself it was a prank, a sick, elaborate prank from someone at work. Maybe. She almost believed it. Then her phone rang. Unknown number. She stared at the screen for 3 full rings before answering, her voice barely above a whisper. ... Hello. Silence at first, then breathing, slow, controlled, not panicked, not rushed, the breathing of someone completely calm, completely in control of the moment. A man's voice came through, quiet and almost gentle. You found it fast, faster than I thought. Her throat went dry. Who is this? Check your back door, Sarah. It's unlocked. The line went dead before she could say another word. She spun around toward the kitchen. The back door, the one she always locked, the one she personally checked every single night before bed without exception, stood open, just an inch, enough for the cold night air to slip through and brush against her ankles. Sarah didn't think. She grabbed her keys and her phone and ran straight for the front door. Locked. She tried the handle again, harder this time. Still locked, but not from the inside. From the outside. Someone had locked her in. Her heart slammed against her ribs, so hard she could hear it over her own breathing. She backed away from the door, toward the staircase, dialing 911 with shaking fingers. 911. What's your emergency? Someone's in my house. I think someone's locked me inside. Please, I need. The line crackled and cut out mid-sentence. No signal. Not even one bar. That's when she heard it. A single footstep. Slow, deliberate, coming from directly above her head. She had checked every room in that house before she even opened the box. Every closet, every corner, all empty, which meant someone had already been inside her home before the package ever arrived on her porch. Sarah grabbed the fireplace poker from beside the living room, half and pressed her back flat against the wall. Eyes locked on the top of the staircase, barely breathing, a shape appeared at the top step. Slow, unhurried, not running, not hiding, walking down like they belonged there. It was a woman. It was a woman. Sarah's breath caught in her throat. She recognized the face, though it took a second to place it. Older now, tired eyes, deep lines around the mouth. A face she hadn't seen in almost 15 years. Aunt Diane. The woman came down one step at a time, her hand trailing the railing. You don't remember me calling you last month, do you? Or the month before that? Or any of the 17 times I tried reaching you this year? Sarah lowered the poker, though her hands were still trembling. What is this? Why are you in my house? Because you stopped answering, Diane said, her voice cracking on the last word. Because after your mother passed, you disappeared. You stopped picking up, stopped replying, and I needed you to see me, to know I still exist. So I did the only thing I could think of that would actually make you stop and look. Sarah's chest tightened, and this time it wasn't fear anymore. It was something heavier, guilt, mixed with recognition she didn't want to feel. You could have just knocked, Sarah whispered. Would you have opened the door? Sarah didn't answer, because she already knew the truth. She wouldn't have. But here is the part Sarah didn't know yet. The part that made her blood run cold 3 days later. Aunt Diane hadn't broken into that house that night, because Aunt Diane never had a key. She had never even been inside that house before, not once in 15 years. When Sarah finally reviewed her home security footage the next morning, from a small camera above the garage, she had honestly forgotten she'd installed. The timestamp showed Aunt Diane arriving at exactly 11:52 p.m., 5 minutes after the box had already been delivered, 5 minutes after that photograph had already been taken, which meant someone else, someone she still hadn't seen, someone whose face never appeared on any camera, had been standing in that exact spot, taking her picture in the dark, and had already walked away before Diane ever pulled into the driveway. Someone who was still out there, somewhere close, someone who still, somehow, had a key to her house. Sarah changed every lock the very next day. She installed 3 new cameras, one aimed directly at the porch, one at the back door, and one covering the side gate she had never bothered to secure before. She told herself, over and over, that it was finally over. But 2 weeks later, another box appeared on her porch. Same handwriting, same thick black marker pressed into the cardboard. Just one word this time: soon.